My name is Tom, and I had the gynecomastia correction surgery done. It's something I've actually wanted done for over 15 years now. It was probably the most life-changing thing that I've ever had done. My biggest thing is I wanted to be able to wear a t-shirt out into public with no undershirt. As silly as that may sound, it's something I've always wanted to do. I want to be able to take off my shirt and not have in the back of my head that everybody in the room or at the beach or the pool is looking at me. And I have to say, just only 4 weeks ago of having it done, I already feel like a huge difference mentally as well. One of the big things for me was I was really nervous about having the surgery just because it seems like it's going to be a really big procedure. I didn't really know how bad it would hurt or what that recovery would look like. And to be honest, I was really impressed. I've tripped and fell and sprained an ankle, and I think that's hurt worse than the recovery of even something like this. I would say the worst was just the very first day, and it was just a little bit sore. There wasn't any shooting or stabbing pains or anything like that. I was a little bit skeptical, to be honest, when people said this is going to be a very easy recovery, and they weren't lying, because it actually was. And honestly, in about 2 weeks in, I started going on the Stairmaster a little bit lightly, riding a bike, got on the elliptical, just didn't do any upper body. And then on my 4-week mark, I just started working legs lightly and actually was able to start doing a little bit of shoulders and some arms and stuff as well. So I have to say, I was genuinely impressed with the recovery and turnaround time as well. I had my first consultation with the plastic surgeon when I was 16, and my mom, unfortunately, has been the one, that's had to listen and try to help me deal with this throughout my entire life. She actually used to even buy me those compression shirts that you wear post-surgery just to comfortably try to go to school and just feel a little bit better and things like that. So I think for her, even me getting it done, I think was a huge relief for my mom to now 15 years later, she can stop worrying about her son in that aspect. So that was huge. So it actually worked out. It was almost like it was meant to be. So I lived in Pittsburgh, PA my entire life, and mid-pandemic just decided, I don't want to be in the city. I've always lived my entire life and looked at a bunch of different cities across the East Coast, and Raleigh just sort of did it for me as far as cost of living, weather, tech scene down here. And gynecomastia surgery was something that I always wanted. And then moving down here, it's a lot warmer out. I'm constantly out on greenways. And so it came back into, I'm wearing less clothing, living somewhere warmer. And so obviously mentally that was a little bit challenging. And so I just thought, why don't I start looking back into this surgery? Now I'm at a point in life where I can, potentially get that done. And when I started doing research of local surgeons, it just so happened that Dr. Law was one of the best in the country specifically for gynecomastia correction. And so I looked at a few different ones, and as soon as I saw that and then spoke to the people here, it was a no-brainer. And then to me, the fact that people actually fly in from out of state specifically to have this procedure done with him, again, just made me feel super comfortable. And also the big difference is when you go to different surgeons' websites, obviously a lot of them have before and after photos and also information, but Dr. Law's site was the only one that actually had an educational section on what gynecomastia is, not just related to the actual correction of it. So even that alone, it was if he had information related to what it was for educational purposes, then obviously to me that felt like the person that I should go to. And then here, the office as well has been incredible. So dealing with everybody and just setting it up and then coming in, even the nurses the morning of the procedure calmed you down and made me so comfortable. So it was a good experience all around. My biggest thing, and it may sound cliche, but would be to get it done. Especially if you're financially able, I would say don't question it any further, because it was by far the best investment of my life, and the biggest game changer as well. I would say a suggestion for anybody that is going to have it done, that maybe hasn't been physically active in a couple years or just along those lines, I think it would be helpful to potentially exercise prior to the surgery, because I know for me, having sort of a baseline of a pectoral muscle underneath just makes me feel a little bit better as far as how the shirt already lays. So I would say the more you can exercise prior to the surgery, I think would be super helpful for the best results as well. That's my personal opinion.